In today's Park Spotlight, we are taking a trip to southeastern part of the United States to a theme park built around two Great Lakes, featuring 6 mega-themed areas, 7 roller coasters, water rides, river rapids, and much, much more. This here theme park today is a sprawling, end-to-end, dynamic mega park with extraordinary coasters and detail, one you're certainly not going to want to miss out on. So stay tuned and let's check it out. Hey yo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Park Spotlight. Today we're going to be looking at Silver Lake Adventure Park, created by CatalystHD, a beginner or unranked builder in this community, but also a Patreon supporter. Thank you so much for your support, CatalystHD, and here they say, welcome to Silver Lake Adventure Park, built around two Great Lakes in a southeastern part of the United States. Silver Lake Adventure Park features 7 roller coasters, 1 cascade water coaster, 1 river rapids, a log flume, and numerous other flat rides and attractions across 6 uniquely themed areas. The park also contains a hotel and multiple restaurants on site. Depending on your hardware, the park can comfortably run at about 30 frames per second, though if you are struggling to run the park, guests should be kicked out. Below are the pair to both the audio files used in the park and the lone video file also used. So with this, I downloaded all the audio. It appears like it's audio from other games. I'm hoping everything's going to be good on the YouTube side of things, because generally games allow you to use their audio, but there were a few audio files that were leaving me a little bit skeptical, so we'll just have to wait and see. The video file, I can't download it for some reason, so there's probably a pre-show or a video at some point throughout this park which I wasn't able to download, which is a little bit unfortunate. However, the park is looking fantastic. There's a lot of immersive audio, and all things considered, I think this is going to be an outstanding experience here today. And let's begin the park tour. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are taking a stroll through the park here. We have some parking lots on the left and right, a nice little nature walk leading us into the park. Now, I did mention that Catalyst was a unranked member. Upon filling this out, they submitted this via Discord, as we have a Patreon section on Discord where you could submit your creations. I'll hold my thought because it's a little bit loud here, but here we have the main entrance, Silver Lake. Get your tickets. This is the main gate. Once we enter here, we'll have a choice between 6 themed areas to embark on our journey here. Okay, so if you are a patron or support of the show, you can come on to Discord. We have a VIP section where you can submit a little forum to your creation for priority. That's what this creator did, and upon right-clicking their name to find out what rank they were unranked. So this builder here is a beginner or an unranked builder. In other words, they have never built anything or shown anything to this community or on this show at all, ever. And from what I'm seeing here, this is outstanding work. So they've been hiding in the shadows, building this park for a very long time, and finally have decided to share it with us here today. This font here, Speedway, is something I recognize. I feel like I've seen this before. Probably somebody who made the font online, shared it with the community. Oh, well, that was something that was not mentioned in their description, and I didn't even see this while I was capturing the B-roll. They are taking off. Let's give this a pause, jump over to the stats here. It's called the Silver Lake Speedway, and I mean, it's already just taken off, so we might as well just give this a ride. Yeah, we took off a little bit quick here. But yeah, I didn't notice that there was a go-kart in this park at all. Pretty cool. No music on this one, but with the amount of audio that I did download, it appears that there was over a dozen audio files, which saying that there was like 7 or 8 coasters plus some water rides, etc., etc. I would imagine nearly every single ride in this park has custom audio. So we should have like an ambient audio experience throughout the entire journey here today. But the go-karts were forgotten about. But that's quite okay. A fun little circuit around the lake. According to the description of this park, the entire theme park was centered around 2 lakes, this being one of them. And the go-kart track takes us around the whole lake. A nice scenic journey. Very, very nice. Fun way to kick off the episode. We don't normally get go-karts in a lot of parks, yet alone the very first experience that we go on. So, quite excited to see that there. And we're coming in on the second lap. The first place winner just won there, doing their victory lap, and we pulled back into the station. All right, very, very cool. A fun way to start things off. There's a dive coaster right in the center here. Maybe we could see if we can make our way to that, or just follow the path and see where it takes us. Nice view of the go-karts here. What do we got going on here? Yeah, see, this is what Shiva, Condor, Serenita Falls. I believe Shiva and Condor are inspired by Final Fantasy VII. Shiva is a summon of the ice element, and Fort Condor is a location in Final Fantasy VII. So, oddly enough, this is just a complete coincidence. I recently was watching all the hype on the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailers that have been shown, and going into all these lore videos and theory crafting videos of how the story's changing from the original game, and how Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth is more of a sequel than it is a remake. And I was like, you know what? I haven't played Final Fantasy VII OG since, like, I don't know, I was 14 years old or something. Even I started playing it when I was 12, but I was playing my cousin's copy of the game. Eventually I got like a PC and Final Fantasy VII for it, an old IBM computer. Anyways, my point being is I tried playing Final Fantasy VII, the OG, on Steam. It was running at 15 frames per second. It was just so awful. So I looked into this thing called Seventh Heaven Mod Manager. And boy, oh boy, I gotta tell you this. I probably gotta make a separate video on it, so I'm not talking about it for the whole course of this video. But long story short is the game is fully voice acted now with Seventh Heaven mods. And it's amazing. And you can get the 60 FPS, the better graphics, the enhanced resolution, the widescreen, everything. So I started playing through it. And I'm actually about 30 to 40 hours in, about halfway done the game. I'm just about to finish disc 1. And I've been absolutely loving the Seventh Heaven mods to remake. And then after that, I kind of want to go play Final Fantasy VII Remake and then Rebirth. So, seeing that this park just so happens to have Shiva, Fort Condor, and Final Fantasy VII inspired rides is really a happy accident, because I was playing Final Fantasy VII like just a day ago. And yeah, you just, wow, what a happy accident indeed. And that's what I'm assuming the inspiration comes from. So CatalystHD, if you are a fan of Final Fantasy VII, I'm there with you, brother. Amazing game. And I'm super hyped for the remake. And if anybody else feels the same way, leave a comment down below. What are you excited about with Rebirth, the story, and what things are you most looking forward to? Was it the open world, the new characters that you could play? Let me know. I'm super hyped. But let's focus on the park from here on out now that I'm done my Final Fantasy rant. And we're going to ride the Shiva summon, which is now a wooden gnarler coaster here. I could be completely wrong. These could just be random names, but there's a bit of an icy blue look to the coaster tracks here, so I can only assume that I am correct here. So there's a look at the coaster results if you want to see them on the right-hand side. Anything that stands out to me, not really, but it's almost a kilometer in length. So let's kick this off. I'll see if there's any nighttime lighting, but for the day run, I want to ride this at the back of the train. Let's get it. Wow, freaking wee! Really good coaster layout there. Not much going on for nighttime, unfortunately, but that's okay. I figured I'd give it a try regardless. Is 10 a.m. the time I want to be walking around at? I feel like the sun could be a little bit brighter. Let's try 1 p.m. That might be a little bit better. As I was riding that, like, that was, the custom music was definitely apparent there. Now, it wasn't recognizable to me. It could have been some Shiva summon music from, like, the summon battle that you do in Remake, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. I only played Remake for a little bit, but I was playing it on Epic, and I didn't really quite complete the experience yet. I wanted to go back and play the OG first. So, what I was thinking, though, was I haven't really ever seen a whole theme park dedicated to that of the Final Fantasy series. And boy, oh boy, I know I said Project Planko was my last project in this game, but I don't know if anyone else is going to do it, and if no one else is going to do it, it has to be me. But now I'm, like, kind of inspired to do, like, a... I would love it if somebody approached me and said that they would love to do this vision with me, or have the community chip in and we can do like a Final Fantasy VII theme park. Have Midgar, have the Chocobo Farm, all these key locations. We can have like Bahamut Coaster. Wow, there's so many fun things you could do with that. I would love to see that happen. Anyways, here we are at the next coaster, a Sakara. There's a look at the stats if you want to see them. 1.3 kilometers in length, 4 inversions, a little bit of air time. We're gonna go track view on this, and off we go. That is going to be the coaster to beat for me in this here park. That sets the bar really high and amazingly smooth and dynamic. Fun layout on that. Preferably better in the track view. It was exceptionally smooth. Definitely designed for that track view experience. but also some added effects to the nighttime experience, giving us a different feel and vibe. So definitely appreciate that as well, giving us 2 different experiences. And that was amazing. That's really sets the bar high for me, and that one will be the one to beat for me. Got a flat ride in the center over here, and we are gonna make our way back out and see where the path leads us from here. We're getting lost today. There's the Shiva entrance over there. There's a boat station. Maybe we should take a boat to somewhere else. I don't know. Was it pointing down here? They're walking through a wall. Boat to bazaar. Ah, why not? Let's have fun with it here today. Let's have a nice, peaceful, scenic boat ride adventure. It might be a transport ride with 2 stops, it looks like. I'll cut to it when it's ready. All right, here we go. Gonna look around at the lush environment. I don't know if I should be looking at the boat or being in track view, but figure it out. Yeah, to my previous point, though, I think when people tease me with a couple hints of something that they're inspired by, you know, one of their favorite games of all time, it always drives me crazy because I always think, what if? And I don't think it's very feasible to make a whole Final Fantasy inspired theme park, and that's probably what this creator had in mind. They're making a park. They really love the Final Fantasy games. They're like, let's incorporate a Shiva coaster or a Condor ride or whatever, and just add a little bit of touch in there. The problem is it leaves me wanting more, and I'm like, gosh darn it. Now I have it programmed in my brain that I must see a Final Fantasy VII theme park, and I think, you know, it's not very feasible to build like a Midgar. Well, you could do sections of the park. You could do sections of the game. You could have a Costa del Sol, little Caribbean area with a fun little ride, a boat ride even, like we're riding here. And you could do many of the scenes and areas in a compact, shortened version. And boy, oh boy, would I love to see that, especially with all the hype going into Rebirth coming out this next year. I think it's coming out, what, February? So yeah, if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, guys, and I'll leave you with this, is go look up the Final Fantasy VII Seventh Heaven. So you get the game on Steam or whatever, and once you have Final Fantasy VII installed, you just download the Seventh Heaven mod. And the nice thing is, all the mods are built into the mod manager. You just go to another tab and go, I want to download that, and that, and then you're good to go. You hit launch, and it's amazing. They recently added full voice acting to the entire game, and I gotta tell you, I was outstanding. It just really changed my experience start to finish. I'm not the best at reading subtle hints and subtle cues and accents, so for me, having it voice acted, I could hear the character's intent, and the way they portrayed things was different than I read it in my mind so many years ago. And it just made the story much more clear to me. And everything just seems to make more sense now. And just sitting back and enjoying an older game with voice acting really makes it tolerable. Because I know a lot of people don't want to sit through a 50 to 60 to even 100-hour game, depending on how much you want to complete, yet alone in 15 frames per second and having to read everything. So having it all 60 FPS, high def, new textures, voice acted, really made the experience something extraordinary for me so far. And I find myself playing through the entire game without getting bored. And that is great for an old classic game like that. And now it just sets the hype going into replaying Remake and Rebirth. Anyways, I figured I would just get that out of my system while we ride this boat ride, and we are now arriving at what would be the bazaar. So we're gonna get off here, and I'll jump cut to the exit of this station. All right, we are getting off the boat. So we actually only experienced half the boat ride, which I think is okay. We could technically ride it back at some point, but if this isn't going to confuse me even more, I generally get lost in theme parks. You can't really see what's going on. We don't have a map. So now that I've actually taken a boat to a completely different land or area, yeah, I don't know what I've missed in between. So we're definitely going to be doing a little bit of backtracking here today, but we'll get through it all. Make sure I hit everything, and we have a fun little car ride, the Refugee. Let's check it out. All right, I think I hear some custom music on this. Probably be best if we go seat view. Let's check it out. Beautiful, scenic, calm. I like the custom audio on that one. What was that custom audio? Battlefield 1 soundtrack? The Flight of the Pigeon? Okay. So that's what I was saying, that if the game audio is from, or if the soundtrack is from a game audio, generally it's okay on YouTube because most game developers produce and make their own music, right? There is a gondola. I think I'll pass on the gondola because we just got off a transport ride, but I am curious to see where it goes, so I might take a closer look at that. But yes, most game developers do copyright their own music or make it copyright free because they want their audience to play their game on Twitch, to make content on YouTube, and that sort of thing. So they pull off all those restrictions. So if you are making a theme park, it's almost better if you are inspired by a video game genre. That way you can kind of rip off and steal some of their music and use it for your own. So it looks like we have a queue for a coaster that is also kind of shared with the queue to the gondola, unless the gondola is actually called the Talon. No, I don't think it is. Yeah, they're like really tightly packed together. Okay, a winged launch coaster, very cool. Or is it? No, those are just the dry tires. It's actually just a lift hill. But they're stuck at the top. When I was doing the B-roll, they were stuck at the top. So this might be something I have to close down. I don't think it's functioning properly. And I'm going to delete the path so it immediately teleports them out. And then we can take a look at the stats from here. 1.2 kilometers in length, 4 inversions, 64 miles per hour. We're going to throw it into test mode and ride the wing for daytime. I don't know if there's any nighttime lighting, but we'll give it a look. Here we go. Oh. Rip. So either this creator used a mod that I don't have, and generally mods do work if you don't have them. Some of them, unless they're based off of momentum or weight. We could take the friction multiplier down so that there's less friction, and maybe that will resolve the issue. But that is extremely unfortunate. Maybe if I edit the ride and turn the whole thing into a launch instead, that might fix it. So there's a launch here, but I can't switch out a launch here. So they have in fact used a mod that I don't have. And there was nothing in the Steam page saying download this mod or do this thing. So extremely unfortunate. if you are building parks with mods, it's always a good idea to send them to a friend or just load it up without the mods installed to see if it works at the end of the day on most people's computers. Because anyone that does download your park that check it out, most likely they're not going to want to download a bunch of third-party applications and mods and install things into their directories and all that sort of stuff. And even if I knew what mods, I don't even know what mods to download if I wanted to make this work. There's nothing saying what I should do here. Or the coaster's just, I don't know. That's a bit unfortunate. We're just gonna close that down and pretend this never happened, but that's too bad. But plenty more rides and amazing attractions throughout this park, so let's take a trip to Valhalla. Very nice Viking theme, tons of custom pieces going on here. Love all the woodwork so far. Taking a trip into the Viking area. What is the coaster of the day here? Oh, is this the water cascade? Very nice. Okay, so we got a bit of a boat ride, but also a coaster hybrid. Almost a kilometer in length on that one as well. And let's check it out. Woo-wee. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That music seems too good to be copyright free. Really hoping I don't get a strike on my end and have to edit that out. It's especially annoying when we get strikes and have to re-edit the video and re-upload it now that we're in 4K, because generally these hour to 2 hour long park recordings are like 100 gigabyte files, and boy oh boy do they take a long time to render and upload and process and go through the whole rigmarole of YouTube you know, rendering out the 4K version, and all of the strikes and detections for copyright stuff comes right at the end of all of that. And it's like, oh, rip. And even when it warns you, it doesn't catch them all sometimes, which is annoying. So you're like, okay, well, we'll remove them from the experience and re-upload it, and it's like, oh, I found a new one. 13 hours later, you get the video up. But yeah, the music, if it makes it through into the video, really made that experience super enjoyable. And that was a really fun and dynamic water ride. Oh, here we go. We found our way to the dive coaster, which is interesting because we saw it on the other side of the park before we took the ship or the boat ride all the way over to this side of the park. So when I was saying, oh, let's make our way to this ride, little did I know that the entrance to it would be on the other side of the park. So this must be pretty sprawling with over a kilometer in length, almost a kilometer in length. And for this one, we're definitely going to want to go into the middle seat. Here we go. Let's check it out. Wow, another transformative experience between both the day and the night experience when I saw those little emitters and VFX, little smoke emitters at the base of the drop. I figured, oh, this is probably going to be a better experience during the nighttime. Definitely a little bit better at night. And I like the purple colors, the little hues added in there. Very nice. Really good track layout on that. And wow, the atmosphere at nighttime is really vibing in this park. We haven't really walked around too much during nighttime, so maybe I'll leave it at night just for a little bit. Especially for this area that has all these fun tiki torches and interesting lights. Fun little bar over here. I am going to get lost now that we're at night. Let me see, where are we going? There's a bistro over here. That was the coaster that got stuck. This is probably the gondolas or the boat ride, I would imagine. Let me see here. Yeah, the boat. That's where we got on. I could take the boat back, but I kind of want to explore by foot. But for all I know, you might have to take the boat because this park is centered around 2 lakes. So there is a chance that the gondola and the boat are the only means of transportation between the 2 lakes. But this bridge might connect it all, bringing us back to the entrance of the park, possibly. I mean, that's the Shiva coaster, right? Oh no, that might be an wait. Was the Shiva coaster an RMC? I thought it was a wooden coaster. Well, we haven't been here yet. I think the Curse of El Dorado is the RMC. I could be wrong. But this is looking pretty cool. Yeah, it must be. Indeed it is. What do we got going on here? The Curse of El Dorado. Almost all the rides in this park are 1 kilometer exactly. 3 inversions, 60 miles per hour, a little bit of air time. We'll start at nighttime because we're already here, but we'll do the track view at daytime. We'll ride the back at night. I always love this perspective. Fast and Furious. I can really appreciate how good the experiences offer both during the day and the night. What I really like most about this coaster is that of the theming. We got this whole like excavation area going on. Makes it like a really dynamic and unique experience that I don't really see too often. And I really like that. Curse of El Dorado. That was a really fun experience there. Okay. We are back to daytime. We're going to make our way back around. We came down through here. There's a little bit of a restaurant down there. And where do we go from here? Trying to make my way around the park here today without cheating. It's the ring ride queue. There's a boomerang down there. That's the bar that we previously visited at night. Now, from what I saw in the B-roll, this isn't a standard boomerang. It has some distance. It has a little bit of an exploration. It weaves in and out of this little villa down here. And I'm actually quite excited to check out this boomerang. Sundial, that's for this flat ride here, I would imagine. Yeah, this is looking fantastic. From a glimpse on the outside, you would probably think it's just a standard corkscrew based off its traversal length, but it is in fact a boomerang. But a little bit of a detour here. Looks like we're going to go on what looks to be a river rapids, a nice scenic, peaceful ride to slow things down a little bit before we go on another coaster. Even this is almost a kilometer in length. That's pretty crazy. So let's strap up and get wet. I always have a hard time finding which one to go on here. I think it's this guy, and I think this is the view we want to go in. So I think we're ready to do this. Okay, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a long and detailed experience through the jungle that was. Quite an enjoyable river rapids, really well done. Love to see it. All right. Where to next? I definitely, taking that boat ride kind of screwed me up a little bit. Generally, I try to like map out where we've been and where we've gone in my head. But I don't know how much. I might have to cheat at some point here. They said they had 7 coasters, one which we couldn't really ride. I feel like we've been on about 6 then. Plus they said river rapids. There was a log flume, I believe, that they said was in the park, which I didn't stumble across yet. There it is. So, if my math is correct, the log flume would be our final ride in the park or one of the last. I definitely want to like look around from a bird's eye view. Oh, this is just a vista point to watch the splashdown. So maybe if we keep going around, we'll find the entrance to the log flume over here. But yeah, I believe we've hit majority of the rides. We're coming to a close here, but I don't really feel like I've quite hit where I'm gonna cheat. I had a feeling I was about to go the wrong way, which is in fact was correct. Come across this bridge, we want to take a right and come up this little pathway here, hidden behind the tree. Oh, no, I think I've already screwed it up. I have. That's a seating area. Up here, I believe. Gosh, it looked so much different when I looked at it from a bird's eye view. Okay, here we go. Serenita Falls. And this is the queue. Go through a little hedge maze. That's fun. Ooh, like all the foliage detail here. Up and in and to the log flume we go. A lot of water rides in this park, not mad at it at all. This one's about half, it's a little bit shorter than the river rapids we went on. Let's see if we can find the right log here. Okay, here we go. We will do the look forward seat view. Off we go. Another beautiful and scenic adventure on another water ride. A very long, well-crafted, detailed log flume experience. Still got a little bit of ways to go here. I was just talking about it. We've been on most of the rides, and then I completely forgot about the boomerang that I was just talking about 15 minutes ago. I was reminded at the top of that drop there, you can see the boomerang lift there. So we definitely have that to go on next, but it looks pretty far away from where our current location is. So it might take me a minute to find it. One thing that has me kind of curious though, considering I downloaded like, I don't know, 14 custom soundtracks, I only remember it on a handful. There was the custom one on the Viking, the Shiva, I think the dive coaster, but that's about it, I think. I could be wrong, but I was kind of anticipating that every single ride in this park would be custom audio. And I came to that conclusion because based off them describing that there were 7 rides and a handful of water rides, there were more soundtracks and audio files than there were rides. So if you just do the math there, it would make sense that there's enough custom audio to have one of each on every single attraction. But I only remember it on a handful of rides, which is a bit strange. And now I'm wondering, where is all this custom audio going? Why is it even in there? Did they have it in there? I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is. But yeah, definitely my anticipation to hear custom audio on all of these rides wasn't quite met. Didn't meet my expectations there. Corridor. This could quite possibly be the queue that I was looking for. Wow, that was a happy accident. I made my way to it quite gracefully for once. So, if my math is correct, this should be the final ride in the park, and maybe this one uses custom music. Let's see here. Corridor. I thought they named it Condor. We never found the Condor, did we? Maybe that was that ride that we couldn't ride. Journey to Planet Coaster. See, a lot of these are using default Planet Coaster music. And again, another 1 kilometer long coaster, 4 inversions, but that is 1 kilometer back and forth, right? Because this is, in fact, a boomerang. I think we'll do track view. Let's check it out. Love it. I think that'll be my second favorite coaster in the park. Track layout was really fun. I love the navigation going in and out of this little villa. We are now going to go into cheat mode from here because I believe we've hit majority, if not all of the rides. And I've pretty much done, I believe to the best of my ability, explored as much of this park as I could on foot. Let's try to, oh, did we go on this? What's this ride? Njord's Flight. We did go on a Nordic coaster, right? Or no, that was a Nordic log flume. Ah, and this is why we do the bird's view. I think there was 2 coasters back to back that kind of hit in this Nordic area. So we have 1 more to go on. But yeah, starting at the start of the park, I came down here. We hit up, this still is the coaster to beat for me. I think it was my favorite coaster in the whole park. Sakara, that was the Shiva over there. Then we took the boat ride that sailed us all the way through here and landed us somewhere around here is where the boat got off. I think this is the station here. From there, we went over here and got to that ride that we couldn't quite go on. Did the dive coaster, to the RMC, the little car ride. We walked around on foot through all these areas, passed into the Nordic area, hit one of the 2 rides, and then came back around and found all the other rides that we missed, all the water rides and that stuff in the center of the park. So quite a good layout on this park, I would say overall. I was able to navigate on foot without getting lost, make my way to all the rides, hit up some of the transport rides, and thoroughly got invested and immersed throughout the whole experience on foot without ever having to pop up and, you know, cheat because I got lost. So I think that was actually quite a smooth experience, and I managed to even hit up all the rides. I mean, I did cheat on the log flume at the last second there. I was like, oh, I know the entrance is around here. I just want to make sure. But for the most part, I was able to find everything quite easily without any troubles. But I did manage to miss one of the 2 rides in this Nordic area. So it looks like the station is here. So if I would have came down through here, Naruk, I don't think we walked in here. So there's that's probably the exit. If we walk around this way, this will probably take us to the queue. I see a queue line up here. That's for the Ferris wheel. This might be it here. No sign for this one? Not a lot of people in queue either. What's going on with you? Well, let's check it out. Njord's Flight, another 1,000 meters in length, and it's taken off. I think we could do this one at both day and night. Let's start this one off in track view. Okay, wow. I'm a big fan of that Nordic music. I really hope it's copyright free and you guys got to experience it just the way that I did there. but we did in fact find another coaster that does use that custom audio. The mysterious loads of custom audio that was in the park that never got heard. Wow. I think that's my second favorite coaster. It is a little bit longer, a little bit more dynamic, and with that music, a little bit more interesting than Sakara. But I don't know, the POV of the track view at day and the scenery of this one, I think I just enjoyed it slightly more. So that'll be my first favorite. This will be my second. And then we got that boomerang, which I'll put as my number 3. Also really like the RMC. It was pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that will be my number 3 over the boomerang. What were your favorite coasters and why? A little bit unfortunate that we didn't get this one going. Don't know what was up with that. I think the whole thing was supposed to be a launch, and for some reason I was unable to change it to a launch from, I don't know, but that's not on me, that's on the creator there, so hopefully they can sort that out and re-upload their park with that fixed. But other than that, I mean, more wins than losses, if all things considered. As I mentioned, I was expecting there to be a little bit more usage of all that custom media that I downloaded, so I'm still kind of scratching my head. If I look at the MP3s that I downloaded, which ones were not used and why? Maybe they were experimental and they just got left behind in the audio folder. I'm not entirely sure, but wow, freaking what an amazing experience. As I just mentioned previously, I was able to navigate the whole park, basically find all of the rides and the attractions on foot without ever really getting lost or having to cheat. I felt like the flow directed me through the park quite well, and that's pretty impressive to say when all things considered that it's built on these massive lakes that are dividing the park with the rivers and the channels in between. There's a lot of different interesting elements to the park layout in terms of like landscape and the water. It just makes it for a very fun experience, going over all these bridges, these canals, having the water ride, all those different areas and sections of the park would make it for a complicated traversal layout. But in fact, from the foot POV, I was able to navigate it quite easily because the creator has properly thought out all the main paths flowing to each of the themed areas all around one big central island area here, and everything feeding out and then back in. So take some notes on, pathing and layout. I felt like this one was done exceptionally well, and the different themed areas were really phenomenal. I particularly really like this area here, the Curse of the Condor. I like the aesthetic of it, the excavation area, but there's a lot of different areas that I really enjoyed. The Viking area is quite nice as well. Love the Shiva coaster. That got me on a little bit of a Final Fantasy tangent there. And now I want to go play some more Final Fantasy VII, Seventh Heaven voice acted. Gotta finish it before I go play Final Fantasy Remake. So that is on my to-do list for sure. Maybe I'll make a video of it going over all the mods that I use and why, and show you guys firsthand what that experience is like. Because if you are a fan of Final Fantasy VII, they've definitely innovated on it with the modding community scene. This gondola we never checked out, but apparently it takes you from the parking lot. So good thing I never ended up riding it. If you go on it, when you park your car, you can get on the gondola and go all the way into the park. But oh my god, that would take forever. These things are so slow. So that's very interesting there. I haven't actually seen anyone do that before. But a lot of really unique things going into this park. Again, I really love the layout of it. I always love this idea of like building islands and connecting them with bridges and having these rides traverse between them. And I think that our creator Catalyst here has done an absolutely outstanding job. As mentioned, they were unranked, so they are technically a beginner builder. I definitely have to bump them up after this. Let's take a quick look at their workshop. This is the only thing on their workshop. So that's why they would be unranked, because they can't apply for a rank if they have nothing to show. I guess they can get beginner. I think that's one of our rules. You could still, yeah, you're a beginner if you don't have anything. They just probably avoided applying. But I would definitely give you advanced builder at least off of this. I mean, this to me is a masterful park. It's a masterful quality. You create more parks, coasters, ride experiences to this level and pad your workshop, add more builds and things to it. There's no reason we can't, promote you. You're building at a much higher quality than your unranked or beginner builder claims you to be. So definitely happy to see this creator rise to the forefront, and also appreciative that they are supporting through the Patreon program, and this was a priority submission sent in through our Discord. So I was able to notice it a little bit easier. I was put right there in my face, and boy oh boy was this a fun experience here today. Boom. What did you guys think of this? What were your favorite coasters and why? What was your favorite part about this park? Give some love to our creator down in the comments below, as it is their very first ever creation in Planet Coaster, and you can also download this yourself on the Steam Workshop shop link down in the description as well. And that is going to do it for us in today's episode of Park Spotlight. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye now.